Today we are doing something I have personally never done, and that is the RLCS World Championship Season 8 starts tomorrow/today, depending on where you are. And someone made a nifty bracket on Google Drive where you can fill it out. It autofills, like if you choose who win, it'll automatically move a team on to the next one. It's brilliant. I'll leave it linked down below if you want to do it. They also have a competition going on. So if you catch this before the World Championship, you can submit it to, I think, his website. And I think whoever has the most points, they have a point system going on. And whoever predicts the most games will win some sort of prize. Kind of like a March Madness bracket, if you're familiar with that. Or like a bowl game bracket or anything like that, if you are familiar with those. So I'll have that link down below. You can check it out. But let's jump into my predictions. Now, I do not claim to be an expert. But as we know, experts aren't necessarily very good at predicting things. Like Gibbs. Sorry, Gibbs. It's just, you just jinx NRG every single time. Every single time. Anyways, I'm also aware that he does these videos. I'm aware this isn't original, okay? I'm aware. Self-conscious. Let's get into this joint. So, we're going to start off with Group A. If you don't know how it goes, two groups facing off with each other. There's two teams from South America, which are Low-Key Esports and Three Sins. And then there's two from OCE, Canberra Havoc and Renegades. And then we have our 4 EU and our 4 North American. Unfortunately, G2's not in here. Real sad about that. But hey, they didn't look too hot this season. Like, they looked good, they just couldn't finish. That's what she said. Anyways, so starting off, Veloce Esports. Oh my god, as I die. Veloce Esports versus Low-Key. Now, Veloce Esports, the only reason they're in RLCS is because Triple Trouble disbanded. And then they made this incredible run through EU and came in second overall and auto-qualified for the Worlds. And it's honestly like, that's like a Cinderella story type run for a team that's just never, like, I know Freaky's been in RLCS before, but like for a team to get into RLCS regular season through a technicality and then make top 2, like, that's honestly incredible. Props to them. Also, Low-Key Esports, I think they're a very, very strong team. I think Card is an absolutely incredible player. He's a monster mechanically. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. But in the end, I have the number 2 team in EU beating out Low-Key Esports, one of our South American teams. I think they're an incredible team. However, I think Veloce Esports will edge them out just slightly. Moving on down, Renegades versus E United. I have some restraint about our North American teams, such as E United and Space Station Gaming. And those reserves are that, like, I realize that these are our top 4 teams in North America this year. But what's making me reserved about Space Station Gaming and E United is that, like, it seems like I'm gonna be like a G2 or Cloud9 fanboy here. I am a Cloud9 fan, or sorry, I am a G2 fan. But like, Cloud9 and G2 were beaten this year, and like, we're bottom 2 for a good reason. They were playing like trash. They looked like trash. There's no way to go around it. But it happens. Like, seasons like that happen. But the thing is, I don't think E United or Space Station played against Cloud9 and G2 while Cloud9 and G2 were playing their best. You know, like, Gimmick was whiffing balls left and right. Their rotation, Cloud9 seemed slow. And they're usually a very, very explosive and fast-paced team. They just seem slow. And then G2, their passing was off. Their defense was horrendous. And, like, I thought Rizzo stepped up pretty well this season. But just other pieces weren't fitting. But then, when you saw them in the relegation tournament, they looked really good. Like, obviously, they had to look really good. And you can be like, oh, but they're playing against RLRS teams. Well, hey, brother, as I hit the mic, look at the Rlrs teams that are in the RLCS Worlds this season. Veloce, Pittsburgh Knights, E United. Three right there. That came from RLRS, and the very next season, boom, RLCS Worlds. But I think like they weren't playing Cloud9 in G2 while they're at their best. Like the Pittsburgh Knights, they have my respect. I think they beat G2 when G2 was playing some of their best Rocket League at DreamHack. They have my respect. I don't think Space Station and E United played against a top performing Cloud9 in G2. So I have some reserves about how well they'll do against the best teams in the rest of the world. Space Station, not as much reserve as E United because they've been to Worlds, they've been to LANs, and they've done well. But still, with that being said, OCE's never done really well in World Championships of Rocket League. Besides, what was it, Season 5? With Drippe? But there is no Drippe on this team. Torsas, Siki, Kami, veterans, unlike E United. I think they'll show up and beat them 32-0. No, I think they'll show up and some will consider this an upset, but I'm giving Renegades the win against E United. And then honestly, I don't need to discuss this one at all. 3-0. NRG. They're an incredible team. I mean, Justin's nuts. They're all nuts. I can't describe them all. We'll get into it later. All right. And then this one I think will be pretty close. When I say pretty close, comfortable fight for Vitality, but I think it will go to Game 5. I think like the games Vitality wins will be comfortable, and then the games they lose will be super close and will be based off like mistakes that Vitality makes. I think it'll be like Vitality's first game. I feel like they might have some of those we won, like, you know, like a team wins the Super Bowl and then the next year they like kind of suck. I think it might be some of that. Obviously they're not going to suck, but they're not going to be as strong, I think, off the first game. We'll get into that game last. And then Low-Key Esports versus Renegades, I give it to Low-Key. I think the South American speed, their mechanics, their tenacity, I think will overtake and break down the Renegades defense. And Renegades is going to be the first team out here, unfortunately. And then moving on over Veloce Esports versus E United. I think Veloce Esports comfortably beats E United. I think they're one of, like I said, I had reserve about E United. And I think Veloce proved themselves because they were playing against a bunch of teams in EU who were playing very well. Like the only team, in my opinion, that didn't play well in EU was Complexity. And TSM. But especially Complexity. But all the other teams, very, very strong. And I think Veloci is a very strong team. Now, this is just like a gut feeling. This is kind of like me willing this into existence. Low-Key Esports moving on to day 3 in the playoffs, single elimination. They're doing it. They're the South American team. I think they are going to improve on what they failed last year. And I think their rotations and defense are going to be cleaner. And then their offense is going to be even more explosive than it was. They had some nutty plays last year. And I'm excited, or last season at the World Championship. I'm excited to see what they bring to the table. Alrighty. Oh, wait, can't forget this. 3-2 NRG. I think this will be very, very close. But I think Turbo going against his previous teammate, K-Dop. I think Turbo's experience adds more, like his LAN and 3 World Championships experience, I think will add that extra oomph that NRG needs to push them very, very far in this tournament. I know these Vitality is the reigning champions, but they've seemed to be faltering lately. It kind of seems like they have like the post World Championship blues. You know how like after teams win a Super Bowl or something like that, they kind of falter. I might have already said this, man. I don't know. Who cares? Who cares? NRG's winning that one. All right. Moving on. I think Space Station. We'll 3-0 it there. I think we'll 3-0 over there. Astral on Dignitas, I think will carry. They've looked very, very strong the way Yukio and Violent Panda are setting up Astral, especially the way Violent Panda's passing. I think this will be a very good game for Dignitas. I don't see the three sins competing too much. I think they'll pull off one game, but I think Dignitas will be very, very comfortable in their wins. And I think Reciprocity will just clap. I say clap. A comfortable game 5. All right. So it's gonna be close all the way through, and I think game 5, Reciprocity, the top team in EU, is gonna beat out Space Station Gaming. I just don't think Space Station Gaming has that X factor like Reciprocity does. I think Chaussette, the dirty sock, he's an incredible player, and I think Reciprocity is the much better team. But I do think that Sathu, the Arsenal, was an upgrade, especially offensively. But I think Reciprocity overall is just a better team. Moving on down here, it's Pittsburgh Knights versus Dig. Even though Dignitas is passing, Astral being incredible, all that type of stuff, I think the Knights, however they play, I hate how they play. Their demos are insane. Like, they come out of nowhere, their bumps, their aggression, they're smart with it. I don't know how they do it, but I think it's really going to disrupt how Dignitas wants to play, how they want to pass the ball and set up Astral. Because, like, maybe they'll just keep bumping and demoing Astral and boost starve them and stuff like that. And I think Pittsburgh Knights will win this fairly comfortably. Moving on, I think Havoc will get a game off Dignitas, but I think Dignitas is a very, very strong team. And they'll end up beating Havoc. Coming down here, like, as you see, I don't have a lot of confidence in these South American and Oceania teams. This is because they haven't shown anything in the recent years. I know South America has only been around for one season, but the other teams, like Oceania, hasn't shown much. So I don't have a lot of confidence, and that lack of confidence is going to continue with the 3-1. We'll make it exciting. A 3-2 Space Station Gaming. Now, this one I might get a lot of hate for. You know, people be like, "Oh, you're just sucking up to the North American because you're an American," and I'd be like, "You're right, I am." 3-2 Space Station Gaming. I think it's more of a gut feeling that they're gonna do well, and less of these are facts. But that's my gut. It's gonna be super close. This is gonna be one of the better games of the World Championship, like one of the closer ones if it happens. So that's my guess. And then this one as well, I think Reciprocity, I think will win 3-1. I think it's gonna be super close, like 4 overtime games. But I think Reciprocity is one of the best, well-rounded teams in Rocket League right now. They showed it throughout the season. They've showed it at previous DreamHacks. So I'm excited to see what they do and continue to do. Moving on to the playoffs. These are now Game 7's single elimination. And we have Pittsburgh Knights versus Low Key. And I think a 4-1 score. I think it's going to be aggression versus aggression. You feel me? But different types of aggression. I think Pittsburgh Knights are the demo boost steal bump type of aggression, and Low Key Esports are the high octane, nutty offense, like incredibly high speed offense and flary type of aggression. They're that Cloud9 Season 6 aggression. All right. And I think the bumps and demos are really going to disrupt that. And I see Knights kind of comfortably, we'll make it 4-2, comfortably beating Low Key Esports. And I think that's where Low Key Esports will falter, is against a team like the Pittsburgh Knights. Moving on, Vitality, the reigning world champs. The other 3-time, K-Dop, Scrub Killer, one of the best once players. They're all once players. They're all one of the best once players. They're insane. Versus Space Station, a team that I feel like is very slept on. And I think I'm going to stick with what I have going here because I have it written down to my left. It might seem crazy. You got to put upsets in here somewhere, right? It's the World Championships. Why be boring and predict what people, the majority, are going to think? Like, I think Space Station is going to come out. I think Vitality, great team, but I think they're on that Super Bowl lull. You know, post World Championship, you know, like we got to live up, we got to win it again, live up to the expectations, and I think they're going to falter. Maybe Scrub Killer gets a little emotional. We'll see. Because they haven't done great in past tournaments, by the way. You know, they haven't been bad, but they haven't been like, since the World Championship, they haven't been like that, holy crap, that team's insane. I haven't seen that this year yet, and I think Space Station can pull it off. I believe. Moving down here, I think Reciprocity. We'll put the Game 7 just because it's a semifinal. And I think, again, Team Reciprocity is one of the best teams in the world right now. They're an incredible, all-around, fruity, incredibly good at like setting up his team to make things happen. Chaussette, very good at 1v3ing, saving every shot, scoring every goal. The guy's an absolute nutter. And then Farah, the Airbus, I think will be a good support player. And he's gonna he doesn't seem to have emotion. He just kind of plays. And he always plays solid. Like, I never see him, like, actually be bad. You know? He's just always that consistent force that's good. So, I think they'll win that and move on to the finals versus... Who are we going to win? No, you're not going to win 43 to whatever. 4-3 NRG. This is the scoreline in the North American region when they played each other. And I think it will happen again this year. I think NRG is the better team. I think it's going to be very close, but I think the leadership that Turbo brings and the experience he brings to a team, being a 3-time, being at so many lands, I think he'll compose and keep Justin and Garrett together. And then Garrett has fantastic leadership in general, but he might get the jitters here and there at a LAN, especially the World Championship. Like, even though they won the Summit, that's not like a real LAN. You know what I'm talking about? This is like this is the real deal. And I think Turbo will give them that push for them to, you know, do really, really well. And that's why I have them over the Pittsburgh Knights, even though the Pittsburgh Knights did win the last major. The finals. The one everybody's looking for. The one where people most likely think NRG is just going to choke. Even though I think generally people are like, yeah, NRG is the best team in the world. I think that's the general consensus, is that NRG is the best team in the world. And I'm going to agree with them. I think NRG is the best team in the world. I think this is going to be like the best series at Rocket League that we might see all year. These two teams battling out. I'm really excited to see. It's like a Justin versus Chaussette, a Fruity versus Garrett, a Turbo versus Farah. We're going to see if this transfer pans out for NRG. I believe it will. I'm calling them the Season 8 RLCS World Champions right here. I don't think they're going to choke this season. I believe. Tell me what you think down below. These are my results. Go fill this out for yourself. Submit it. Try to win a prize if you can. And let me know what you think down below. Did you like this video, first of all? Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree? All that good stuff. And yeah. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see your beautiful faces later. Peace.